Hey everyone, Needs More Drums here, back in City Skylines 2 in our 100% vanilla region of Grand Keys. In an effort to improve transportation in Percussiona, 2 new train stations were built and the highway was improved to accommodate more traffic. This has made the city much more desirable for residences and businesses alike, and people are eager to purchase and even redevelop property near these new transportation centers. Particularly in West Percussiona, city planners are looking at the area near the new train station as prime real estate for medium density and mixed use developments. This area will be our focus today, so let's jump in and get started. Alright guys, what's going on? So apologies lately for the lack of regular content. Work has been crazy busy and I'm recording this when I got a little bit of a gap in my schedule, but I don't anticipate actually releasing this video for probably 2 more weeks, given my availability. So by the time you're seeing this, it's probably 2 weeks since I've recorded it. But anyway, recent updates, both US region packs are out. We haven't done any building with them yet, and so I'm gonna try to implement some of that today. So I'm really excited to actually get building, since the past few episodes have been very infrastructure heavy, and this one we're actually gonna do a little bit of zoning and development. But something really funny that you guys are gonna get a kick out of this. So I opened up the game and pressed play for a little bit and kind of was recording my cinematics and everything for the intro and whatever. And then I had realized that I made a grave error in the last episode, and you'll see why that's why this part of this land is a little bit different. I inadvertently flooded the entire city, and well, not the entire city, but a big part of it. So by building this massive landmass that went all the way out to here, I had reversed the flow of water through this channel, and I did not realize just how important this channel was to keep water away from West Percussiona and Percussiona Coast. I recorded the cinematics. I was ready to start recording what I'm saying now, kind of a little intro, and then I looked and all of this campus was flooded, all of this was flooded, and it was just getting worse and worse and worse. And so it was gonna be bad. So I reverted to an older save. I leveled all of this out and kind of started from scratch. And so for now, we're gonna just kind of expand this little by little. We're not actually gonna just make a giant plot of land right in the middle of the river again, because that was terrible. And so you can see now the water is actually flowing. It's still flowing kind of this way, but it's relatively flowing this way. We want to bring it through the channel and then back out to the bay and ultimately into this bigger body of water. Because what was actually happening is that this water was flowing directly, it was literally going like this. It was flowing into the campus, it was flowing into the city. So we've reversed the effects for now. I'm gonna keep an eye on it, so excuse me if I keep kind of popping the camera over here a little bit just to see what's going on. But yeah, already I could see like this path was beginning to be underwater when I started fixing this, and so now it's completely above water again, which tells me that we're a step in the right direction. So yeah, I kind of toned it back on this a little bit on this land mass, since we're not really using it for any development right now. I might kind of chip away at bringing it out a little bit more into the water, because I do want to make a space that's actually big enough to build. So I want to make something a little bit practical, but I'm not just going to go ahead and I think it was out to here, and it just limited the flow of water through this channel here. So much better now. Glad that I got that sorted out. And so what we're actually going to do today is focus on this area over here. And so I'm excited to build this. I'm envisioning something like pretty walkable, a little bit more of a dense development. I think we're gonna take advantage of some of the new mixed use and medium density residential buildings that we got in. Primarily, I think this is gonna be more. I'm going for the more of the Southwest region pack from the US, in addition to maybe the UK pack. Some of these apartment buildings are UK, and I really like the way that these look. And the reason that I might go southwest over northeast for this part is that this, I imagine, is going to be a little bit more of a newer development. Presumably, Central Percussiona was, the older historic area. West Percussiona might be a little bit more modern, and so I'm kind of going for some of that newer architecture in this area. And we'll see. But I'm really excited to get started with that. And then over here, probably have, you know, some mixed use, maybe, but I'm actually thinking about more just low density commercial, and maybe even making like a little bit of a shopping center kind of along this road here, since this is right up against like some office and industry. This is you know, a pretty busy main entry point into the city. So I'm not going to put any residential on this street, but I think we could do with some commercial and offices and, you know, other businesses and things like that. So yeah. And then whatever we don't fill in, you know, we'll fill in with some parks. We'll kind of use some detailing a little bit. Some of the newest, you know, I mean, new is a overstatement, but most recently added detailing features, like some surfaces, you know, some props and everything, and we'll get this kind of looking all pretty. But yeah, before we actually dive in, I want to kind of reapproach this area here. So we have this like bus stop right here that I think I'm going to get rid of, because it doesn't really make sense to have a bus stop there anymore, especially since, you know, we have this train station here now. So I mean, maybe can I just like remove that? Yeah, we're going to remove that for now. And that's going to make a lot of people mad for right now, but we're going to revisit these transit routes later, and we don't even have train routes yet. So before the end of the episode, we're going to reconnect the trains. We're going to revisit some transit routes and, you know, focus on that a little bit. But I guess one more thing that I wanted to bring up. At the end of the last episode, it looked like we were having a death care crisis and a healthcare crisis. It seems like crisis averted for now, somehow. I really don't know how, but it looks like my death care and my healthcare are pretty good. I'm not getting any notifications anymore. I know this clinic is at the edge of like capacity all the time. This one's a little better, but I was going between building a hospital in this episode and developing this area. So thankfully we can develop this area and focus on a hospital in probably the next episode, when we develop a little bit more in Central Percussiona. But yeah, so anyway, so my plans for this area is first, let's actually go ahead and make this a little bit more of a desirable street. I don't want parking on this road, believe it or not. I'm pretty against parking on a lot of these main avenues. I would prefer not to have it. I think it you know, people drive faster. It just doesn't look as good when you have trees along the side of the road. It just looks way better, and people tend to drive a little slower because you feel a little bit more kind of closed off in a way. So yeah, like my tree line streets. We'll do something like that for now. And then once we get into here, I don't know what I'm going to do about all this yet, but I might even delete a couple of these buildings, because these are so old. I just like threw this stuff down and had no idea what I was going to do. So you know what? We're just going to get rid of all this and kind of start over. All right, so now we got a little bit of a blank canvas there. And I don't want to make this road go all the way through here. So I think what I will do is I am going to keep up the kind of the alleyway style. What I might even do, no, that's going to be too big. So maybe I could do something with parking. You know what? I kind of don't hate that. I kind of don't hate it, because this gives us the ability to really zone some residential. People can have a place to put their cars. I kind of like it. So we're gonna go with that for now and see if that ends up working. But I think what we're gonna do now is just kind of jump into some zoning and just kind of plot, you know, not plot, but zone a few plots of land and just see what buildings spawn. There's a couple that I have in mind that I really want for this area. But who knows what we're going to get. If we have a mix of kind of historical and modern, I'm not really opposed to it. But I would like to go for a little bit more of a modern look in some of these areas. So we're going to do, like I said, we're going to do some mixed use on this street right here, since this is kind of right up against the train. And then maybe on these corners, we'll do a few more apartments, but kind of right here in front of the train, I want to keep to a mixed use style. And then over here, we'll transition into some residential. Probably a mixture of mixed use and residential along this Garland Street here, since this is, you know, it's a pretty busy road, but I think it's going to be a little bit more suitable for some residential development, as opposed to this one that backs up and faces kind of some more industry and stuff. And then over here, we'll just zone pretty heavily with medium density residential, and maybe even a little bit of a couple of blocks of row housing as well to kind of transition into this suburb right here. So we'll just fill all this out. Let me just jump into a little bit of a time lapse. And as always, just kind of see what happens. All right, so a little progress update. This is pretty much exactly what I wanted. So I'm getting a lot of these nice, bigger, kind of more modern prefab style buildings, which is what I wanted in this area. These look really nice. I like these medium density ones. You know, very Southwestern, very San Francisco, like this one especially. But overall, I don't care. These are nice here, like these ones. This is kind of what I was going for here, like some of this, you know, modern style architecture. I really like that. And I had originally gone with the Southwest row housing, but it was a little bit too bright for me and like for this area. And it actually took away the parking along this road because they had front facing garages. So I wanted to keep the parking on this road. That's the whole reason why I actually put it down. So I just replaced it with the actually the vanilla buildings because, you know, I know they're vanilla, but I still kind of like them. I think they fit well with kind of what I'm trying to the aesthetic that I'm trying to get in this area. So I like it. All the commercial, you know, it's a little bit different than what I thought. Some of the buildings are nice, but some of them I had to go through and kind of replace. Like this is kind of what I wanted, some of these bigger ones. But I'm getting some funky different ones, which I'm not complaining about. Yeah, these are fine. These are fine. I can live with that. So happy with that. Happy with the row housing. Again, put down some vanilla row housing here. I think what I might do is go through and add a few street trees and stuff once we focus on a little detailing. But before we detail up this area, I want to talk about what I want to do in terms of detail. And actually, you know what? Ooh, I messed up. Dang it. I wanted to replace this fire station with the southwest one, but I think it's gonna encroach on these homes now. So we're gonna have to save this for another station. Yeah. Dang. Oh well. It's fine. It's fine. I don't want to delete this block of homes. I like that there. But anyway, so what I want to do with some of these open areas is like, you know, I want to put like a little park here, kind of a centerpiece for this little intersection. That would be nice. And you know, same thing like here, we'll put a little park because the zoning is facing this road here, and I don't really want to put anything facing this road, so I think we'll put a park here. We'll probably, you know, throw some trees down behind like these buildings and such, and kind of in these little gaps, and then we'll fill this in with some different surfaces. You know, see if we can sneak in a parking lot somewhere. I originally thought about doing a parking garage somewhere near the train station so people could at least walk to it, park and walk to it, but I kind of ran out of space. There's not a good one or there's not a good space where one would fit. Not to mention that the small one is almost like a little bit too small, and the big one is almost a little bit too big for this area. I would, you know, I mean, not that there is really a good in-between size, because even the big one's not that big. It just given the fact that we have these, you know, denser city blocks, I don't want to take up a whole block with a parking space, so, or a parking garage. So anyway, but yeah, let's go ahead and just jump into a little bit of detail work. We'll fill in this area with some trees, some parks, some surfaces. Make this really kind of come to life, because we can see we have a lot of empty spaces here. So jump into another quick little time lapse, and then I will talk to you guys in a bit. All right, and you know what? I am really, really happy with how this turned out. We have a nice mix of buildings. They're just the perfect size. We have, some medium density ones, a few bigger ones, but nothing crazy. And this whole area just looks way more planned out and filled out. And that detailing, it took a little bit, I'll admit. It took me about a half hour to kind of really get all that, all of the little trees and things down and everything. But you know what? I really think it's worth the effort. I mean, just placing these parks here, making these spaces it just makes them feel so much more lively rather than just having an empty green space. Although we do seem to be having a little bit of a homeless issue. But you know what? We're going to fix that. We're going to fix that now by giving the people kind of a way out. So, like I said at the beginning of the episode, before we end, I want to make these trains functional. So, first things first, we got to turn on our rail yard, because we haven't done that yet. And we're still making some money, which is good. I haven't checked the budget recently. We haven't flooded our city, which is also good. Oh, I can't believe I did that. Such an idiot. Anyway, let's make a couple of train lines here. So we're going to make one we'll go from this city out here. What is that? Mountain Lake. And we'll stop at West Percussiona. Terminate that one here at this line. Then we will come back. Oh, wait, nope. Put it that way. We'll complete the line. Mountain Lake. So there's one. The second one we're going to do is... That's it. That's the only one we got. For some reason, I thought there were more train lines on this map, but I guess not. I guess we'll have to add them in ourselves. So what I'm going to do about that is we are going to go into our line manager at. I want to make it blue. Nice blue line. And how do I actually? There we go. So we're going to make the ticket price like 0. Just because, actually, you know what? We're not going to make this ticket price 0. I got to find another way to get like kind of the homeless people a free ticket out of here. We'll make this $4. How about that? We'll only go for 2 trains for now. Since, we don't have like probably any passengers, I would guess. Yes, once we move this bus terminal and start thinking about our bus routes, that's when maybe I'll think about kind of a shuttle to get out of here. Well, actually, never mind. We actually do have a couple of bus routes anyway that seem to be taking people out of the city. So we have this one to Darty. This bus has 14. So I guess there are some people getting out of the city. Hopefully, that's a way for them to leave if they so choose, if they can afford to live here. Otherwise, hopefully they can find a new home. I do need to be better about low rent housing. I haven't put down a lot of low rent housing. We do have, I think, a couple of new options, if I remember correctly. I do wish, with all of these new region packs, I do wish that there is a little bit more of an organized zoning setup. We have a lot of icons, and it's hard to tell kind of what which is which. So you see we have some UK high density, we have some other high density, we have French low rent, but I don't think we have any other kind of low rent. You have Chinese low rent, but those are not the architectural style that I'm going for. It looks like the next one is just the regular one. So I don't know, maybe we'll put down a couple of low rent buildings. Maybe over here, maybe this is going to be a good spot for a little housing project. What do we think? I think that's a good idea. Let me know in the comments if you disagree. But that might be what we put here. I did not know what I was going to put here, so that might kind of answer my question a little bit. It's a nice secluded space. We can have kind of a planned area. Put some parks, some kind of low rent buildings, some apartment buildings. Look pretty good, if I say so myself. So think about that. But anyway, I think I'm gonna go ahead and call it an episode here. This was a really, really fun one. This area looks so much better now that it's complete. I've been waiting to build this for a long time. And yeah, after we put a little detail work in there, it'll we won't have to, go back and kind of redevelop this area anytime soon. So I'm excited to just leave this as is, and it turned out exactly how I wanted it to. So that's good. Next episode, we might do a little bit of a housing project here, like I just said, kind of fill out this area here. Might do a little redevelopment with this block here, since this was kind of just thrown down kind of, really real quick as we were kind of building this out. And I really want to start thinking about a hospital. We can see we do have some icons popping up. The healthcare is functioning, but it's kind of on the brink of capacity. So I think a bigger regional hospital could do well for this area, especially since we don't have any healthcare coverage in Central Percussiona. It's really weird. And also, I think it's time to start looking at our unemployment rate. Yeah, 10%. We got to start thinking about jobs. We got to start thinking about an industry, maybe over here. So a few things to think about going forward. But for now, the city's, in pretty good shape. And I'm glad that we got some train lines or some train stations built, some train lines going right now. And we're only going to, build more of those kind of as the whole region progresses. We'll want to, continue to connect everything up and make sure that we have that infrastructure in place. But yeah, glad I didn't flood my city. Glad that the build turned out the way it did. And this was a lot of fun. So I will talk to you guys in the next episode. I hope that you guys have a great rest of your week. Thank you again for being patient about the, intermittent content. Everything has been really, really busy lately, and I really appreciate it. So hope you guys are enjoying the videos. If you are, feel free to leave a like. I always love hearing your comments. I always take the time to read them. So leave a comment if you have any suggestions, or if you liked something. If you didn't like something, always happy to hear about that too. Just let me know. Thanks again. Have a great week, and I'll see you guys soon. Peace out.